Jolly Roger Bay box use. Use as in what the heck's the point of this thing? This is an entry on the Super Mario 64 Iceberg, and I'm glad it is, because even when I was playing this personally as a kid for the first time, this always intrigued me, and I wondered what the deal of it was. Why is it so unique looking? Why is it only in this one area? What's with the threatening skull and crossbones? I'm sure it's a warning to that it damages you, but it's still such a standout thing to it. And yeah, people have talked about this because of the Iceberg, but the most that I can just comment on is also just how weird it is. It always seemed like this was meant to have a bigger use, but for what exactly is unknown. Center Udingan's Castle. This is a more niche rumor that I've heard online a couple of times, and what it is that if you fall through the center crater circular area of Gan's Castle and the lava beneath, then you will be warped to some other area or sorts. And this is something I tried of my own, and things to support this is how, just look at the design, it looks like you're able to fall through there if it's circular pattern and flowing inward is lava. And curiously enough, there's a path right outside the castle itself that connects to it that you can just barely walk on, and once you get to the edge of it, it seems like it's just the perfect distance for you to jump into the center as if it was always meant to be. Islands in the Distance, another Mario 64 Iceberg entry. And this of course alludes to said islands in the distance that appear in the skybox for levels like Bomb on Battlefield. And of course, as kids playing the wonderful world of Mario, you'll wonder what exactly is out in these and what exactly is containing them, and is there a way to get to there. I know that this goes a bit further than the traditional rumored stuff as a kid, but I always like to kind of believe that these were the parallel universes after learning about all that stuff. But yeah, the ambiguity is why it's done this far. Mario Kart 64 Koopa. Koopa was in the first game, and Koopa did not appear in 64, which is a really strange and curious cut to many. Sure, Donkey Kong Jr. was in there too, but Mario Kart 64 at least has regular Donkey Kong, and some even believe that Donkey Kong just is Donkey Kong Jr. grown up. But yeah, it's strange that Koopa was missing. It was such an odd cut, especially since that Koopa Troopa Beach is a level in there, but Koopa is nowhere to be seen in the game itself. And apparently, lore that was given in some guide or manual is that reasons that Wario was in there is that he stole Koopa's cards and painted it purple with name-dropping Koopa. And I have a copy of the manual, however, I cannot find it in there. But yet people believe that maybe Koopa was unlockable somehow. Ice Key in Donkey Kong 64. I talked about the Ice Key in the Stop and Stop entry at the beginning of the series. However, this is not for getting it in Banjo, but in Donkey Kong 64, so he can take a break from going like, oh, for a bit. And it was known for a while that in the file name it says Ice Key, implying that it was in the game at some point. However, this did not really get talked about until more recently, where more stuff was found, such as a warping cutscene. And where this warp starts is that it zooms into the area of Donkey Kong's cabin, where this beta shot of Banjo and Kazooie on a shower or whatever would have appeared. And then it warps you to an area in Crystal Caves, which is all pretty amazing to me, and it just leads to more beta speculation of what exactly this would have been used for, and if it's still in the game somewhere even further. And what exactly this Ice Key would unlock you, your guess is as good as mine. Maybe it would let you play Crush in one-player mode. Big Boo's Forest. A rumored Super Mario 64 level, and this is the one that leads the most into the horror creepy aspects. And what this level would be like is the skybox that you see around Big Boo's haunt, and getting out into there. Now, while it wouldn't have amped the horror too much, one specific detail described is some sort of shack that you would have been able to go inside. While it's not so creepy itself, it gives you the feelings of panic and unnervedness and wanting to leave immediately. And I can easily see some kid with maybe some personalized copies stumbling upon this level and having those feelings. Secret Boo Laughs, another Mario 64 entry Iceberg yet again. I said that weirdly. But we all know about at this point the weird slower laugh that just sometimes randomly occurs. Some say that it's the Big Boo laughs at the balcony that you're hearing on the surface level. But I've never heard it laugh from there myself, and I don't even really recall hearing it much as you're actually up close and fighting it. And yeah, just to this day, people seem to not really know much about what exactly triggers this laugh or the probability or actions or anything towards it. Maybe it's something to allude to you for your personalized copy. Ooh. Boost Key. The third yet final in the row containing to this level. And this alludes to that beta key, and this is always one of the most intriguing beta assets to me, just the wonder of what's like collecting this item and what exactly it would be used for. However, it was just simply a beta asset, of course it would not appear in the series, so people had rumors that it's still in the final game itself. And what its use exactly is still a mystery despite that, however, personalized copy stories claim that they found it before. Stained glass entrance. Still going on Super Mario 64, this alludes to that iconic stained glass that surprisingly doesn't seem to appear much outside of the game. And not exactly Peach being trapped in it, but Mario being able to go through it. And this is something that I heard myself. I'm showing both versions of it here, but I'm mainly alluding to the one that's outside the castle. And that you could go through it into another secret level, and I always thought this is what the cannon outside would have been used for, to blast into that, and I saw it as like the ultimate final area you could go to. And I'm apparently not the only one, because many personalized copy videos that have arose over the past year have Mario actually going through this into the weirdest things in the game. Link in Mario 64. We're now crossing over and talking about Link from Ocarina of Time appearing in Super Mario 64. For whatever reason, these two games in the series in particular have always had people really wanting them to cross over, specifically Link and Mario 64. As sure, they shared the same engine, but we didn't know that for the longest time back then. This was just something that we naturally wanted, and yeah, it's hard to say why exactly and why so much more for these titles. I am going to blue ball a bit here, but there's not much I want to share now. However, I will be talking more about this when we get to the final entry of the Iceberg chart. Rainbow Temple. Naturally, going to Ocarina of Time now is the Rainbow Temple. For a while, I thought this was like the final, most obscure of the cool hidden temples in the game you could hear about, until finding some new ones just lately that are going to be appearing at the end of this series also. But yeah, Rainbow Temple, I always thought the idea of this is really cool when I heard other people talk about it online and how they also heard about this. And I'm showing a screenshot right now from a Rainbow Grabo that claims to be, ooh, I'm the Sky Temple. But this is how I imagine the Rainbow Temple looking, with a mix of maybe like the Observatory and Majora's Mask. And I imagine that it would function like the ultimate final exam temple for Ocarina of Time, combining all of the assets and stuff from the other dungeons, including the rumored ones, as the final test for you to go through. Playable Sheik. This is one that almost didn't make it on there from almost being too ridiculous to me, because how exactly would switching in item management work? But yeah, I feel like enough people heard about this and both wanted about it, because I mean, just like how cool Sheik is. But I purposely kept the title vague. It's mostly talking about being able to play as Sheik somehow in Ocarina of Time. However, I want to make other people think, well, does it mean Smash Brothers? Because that's maybe something that could have got brought up, but I feel like the alter ego was something that's a bit more valuable and has weight to it, which is coming up later. Gold Yoshi. This alludes to unlocking a gold Yoshi in Yoshi's Story, and this is one that I saw personally online a long time ago, like 10 years ago or so, that I can't find anymore. I feel like I read somewhere alongside Purple and Brown Yoshi, but I just don't know where. And yeah, I don't even really remember any unlock method if there was one, but I imagine that this would be the ultimate Yoshi that you would get after the others. And it would probably have no weakness like the white and black ones, and probably just higher stats and maybe invincibility too at that. Mario Kart 64 Playable Boo. Boo returns, but in Mario Kart 64 instead of Mario 64, and as the final rumored character for that game. Now, this is on here because haven't you always found Boo's appearance in the game to be odd? Look at the constellations in Rainbow Road. There's one for every playable character, plus Boo. Yes, the mushroom is there too, but that's just whatever. It's just a super shroom. It's an item. And yes, Boo's an item too, but unlike the mushroom, Boo's like an actual character. Like, you could argue maybe the mushrooms are sentient, but it's not a character. Also, the mushroom functions as like the series icon, so that's also like a good reason for it to be there. But Boo's just more randomly placed there with everybody else. And Boo also has a level like Koopa, but Boo makes no playable appearance, which this rumor alludes to, is that somehow you can unlock Boo who's trapped in the game. Fantastic Horror Level. This is the most known beta level for Pokemon Snap, as its theme is still around. However, this is referring to people believing that it's still in the final game and that you can find it somewhere. Pokemon Snap, as good as it was a bit lacking in areas you could visit, and hunters just kind of randomly placed inside the caverns. And yeah, this would have worked well because Pokemon Gen 1 is just well known for its creepiness and its horror factor. Like, look at Pokemon Mansion. Maybe Mewtwo would have actually appeared in the flesh in this level, who was also almost an entry on here but didn't make it. And then there's, of course, all of Lavender Town. Now, people say that Gen 1 is lacking in the ghost type aside from the Ghastly line, who probably all would have appeared in here. But there's other Pokemon that would have worked, like the Poison and Psychic types. Like Hypno would have worked very well, of course. And maybe the ghost from Lavender Tower would have appeared on here. Ooh. Cradle Multiplayer. This is one that I heard personally as a kid, and it's exactly what it says on the tin, was that you could play on the Cradle level in multiplayer mode. I don't really recall any unlock methods for this, aside from like probably just do it on a high difficulty at a certain time. But yeah, this would have been like the ultimate like multiplayer level you could have unlocked in the end as a good achievement. I'm sure many heard other rumors like this, probably just like for other levels or being able to play on every level in multiplayer, but this is the one I heard personally. And that does it for this layer. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about even more obscure and weird things, and especially things that start to delve into the creepy factor, and I know how much all of you love that. See you.